Hello students, welcome to today's class. Now look at here, what exactly is ready for you. These are by seeing the figure you can guess, I think, what is the question. What would be the question? The question is, I think I am getting the graph. So definitely you might be asking, what are the zeros of this graph? Exactly what you are thinking, what are the zeros of this graph? I have to find, actually this is from exercise number 2.1, the entire exercise of this type. The entire exercise 2.1 exercise is this one. And if you look at my previous video, definitely within a minute you can find what are the zeros of this graph. To find the zeros, okay, already it's over, but still I'm just reminding you how we were finding the zeros. Look at it. In this graph, I think this graph doesn't touch your x-axis. So therefore, the number of zeros in this graph is what I can write 0. Why? Because this line, this graph is not touching your x-axis. Our main point is the line, the graph must touch your x-axis. In the second case, look at it. This is your graph. Which is your graph? Your graph is this one. This is your graph. That graph, just you check it at how many points that graph is touching your x-axis. Let me point out. This is the point that this graph is intersecting your x-axis, is touching your x-axis. So therefore, the number of zeros I think is equals to 1. Okay, the number of zeros is equals to 1. Obviously, the third, you can answer me. In third case, the graph is intersecting, I think, at 3 distinct points. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, number of zeros is equals to 3. And the fourth one, the graph is intersecting your x-axis at 2 different points. 1, 2. Therefore, the number of zeros is equals to 2. Whereas in this case, the graph is touching your x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4. The number of zeros is equals to 4. And in the last case, the graph is intersecting at how many points? Let's say 1, 2, 3. So therefore, the number of zeros is equals to 3. So these are exactly the number of zeros from the given graph. First, the graph is not touching your x-axis, and therefore the number of zeros is equals to 0 only. Second case, the graph is touching only at one point. Look at it. And in that video, already I have told you how to check. The graph must intersect your x-axis. And the number of points at which the graph touch is equals to your number of zeros. So the number of zeros is equals to the number of points the graph touch your x-axis. So therefore, number of zeros 1. In this case, 3, 1, 2, 3. In this case, 2, because the graph is touching at 2 distant points. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4. The graph is touching at a 4 distant point. In this case, the graph is touching at 1, 2, 3. So therefore, these were all the questions of your exercise number 2.1. That means my first exercise is over. Now for the second exercise. For the second exercise, to start with the second exercise, which is very important. And your second exercise completely about the zeros, but not from the graph. Completely, the second exercise is to find the zeros and verify the relation between the zeros and the coefficient. Already I made one video. I had prepared one video, and you can see that finding the zeros and relation between the zeros and coefficient. If you go back, you can watch that video. That if you go through, you can definitely solve each problem. But still, I am doing the second exercise. Exercise number, that is 2.2. From the second exercise, the first question is from 2.2, exercise number 2.2. The question is, find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. I have to find the zeros and verify the relation between the zeros and coefficient. Let me do the first one. The first one is This is the first. The first is x square minus 2x minus 8. In this, I have to find the number of zeros. After finding the number of zeros, I have to verify the relation. Okay. Already I told you in my video, you can say first coefficient of x square is your 1. 1 into 8. 1 into 8 if I do, I'll get 2 4s 8. I got the numbers. What is my middle number? Middle number is minus 2. These two numbers I can write in such a way that my answer must be minus 2. So look at here. 2 minus 4 if I do, I'm getting minus 2. Because this one I have to split in two form. 2 and a minus 4. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. And if you multiply 2 into minus 4, 2 into minus 4 is minus 8. And here also I am getting minus 8. 1 into minus 8, minus 8. So these two numbers I can take. You can write x square instead of minus 2x. Let me write this one. Plus 2x minus 4x minus 8. Now take out the common. X of x plus 2. Here I can take out the common minus 4 of x plus 2. Now what I am getting? X plus 2 common, that I can take x plus 2 of x minus 4. To find the zeros, let me consider each one is equals to 0. X plus 2 equals to 0 as well as x plus 4 equals to 0. Or x is equals to minus 2, and in this case x is equals to minus 4. So what I got? I got two zeros. What are those two zeros? The zeros are minus 2 and minus 4. So first part of the question was find the zeros. So I found the zeros. But again what is telling? Verify the relation between the zeros and coefficient. Now I'll do the verification. And in my verification, if I verify, under verification, so what is the verification? The verification is, I write the steps. First is sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. This one under verification you write. What to verify? Sum of the zeros. The formula is in terms of coefficient. Minus of coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. So this you have to verify. Sum of the zeros is equals to minus of coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. Sum of the zeros, what are the zeros I got? Look at here, minus 2 and minus 4. Let me write minus 2. I have to add minus 4, both the zeros. Both the zeros I have to add is equals to minus of coefficient of x. Look at here, what is the coefficient of x? This x. Coefficient of x means minus 2. Right here. Minus 2 divided by coefficient of x square. X square is here and coefficient is 1. Minus 2. Let me check it once. Minus of coefficient of x. Here, sum of the zeros, what I got? This is minus 4. X minus 4, not x plus 4. This, look at here, x minus 4. And if it is x minus 4, I'll get definitely here only 4. So what are my zeros? Minus 2 and 4. I just corrected few points because I had taken it's minus 4, minus 4. If x minus 4 is equal to 0, obviously x is equal to 4. Now, here I am getting 4. So minus 2 plus 4. This side what I am getting? Minus 2 minus plus 2. Minus 2 plus 4 is your only 2. So therefore, this is verified. Which one verified? Sum of the zeros is equal to minus of coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. This is verified. So I can write this is verified. Better if you need, you can write. One more thing I have to do. Like sum of the zeros, Product of the zero also I have to verify. Product of zeros. Product of the zeros is equals to, in my previous video already I told you, try to remember this one. Coefficient of, not coefficient, actually it's a product of the zero is equals to constant term divided by coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square. These two anyhow you have to remember. Sum of the zeros is equals to minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Product of the zeros is equals to constant term by coefficient of x square. Product of the zeros means what I do? I will multiply. What to multiply? Zeros I have to multiply. What are my zeros? My zeros are here. Minus 2 and 4. So right here minus 2 into 4. I will multiply because product of 0 is equals to constant term. Which is my constant term? Look at here. This is my constant term. Because here nothing is, let's say A, this is your B and this is C. Constant term. So I can write minus 8 divided by coefficient of x square. What is the coefficient of x square? X square coefficient, 1 only. So this gives me 2 4 the minus 8 is equals to minus 8. And in this case also it's a verified. Exactly like the previous one. Left side 2 is equals to 2, verified. Look at here. It's verified. And here also I am getting minus 8 is equals to minus 8. It's verified. So this is the first question of exercise number 2.1. Similarly, we can do the second question. So what about the second? The second one is 4x square, 4s square minus 4s plus 1. Now let's start the next one. The next part is, the second question is, if you are understanding one, definitely the second one will be easy for you. Because the method is this one only. No other method. I do the same method what just I am doing here. So the second question is 4s square. Second, 4s square minus 4s plus 1. Exactly what I did in the first, same thing I'll do. 4s square minus 4s plus 1. So let's do the second one. Exactly what I did for the first one, for the second I'll do the same thing. So if I start, what is my coefficient of x first? Instead of x, here it is given s. Look at it. What is the coefficient of x? That is 4. I have to multiply these two. 4 1s are 4. So find factors of 4. That is 2 to the 4. So obviously I can get, what to get? Tell me the numbers. I got the numbers. You check it whether I got the numbers or not. In fact, I got the numbers. Middle number is what? 4. So already I got the numbers. You can check it. So what to write? I can write what is my middle term? My middle term is 4. So definitely I can take 2 and 2. This gives me 4. 2 and 2, these two number if I take, I am getting 4. But how to write? Both the numbers, one is minus 2, second is also minus 2. Because minus 2 and minus 2 gives me 4. And minus 2 into minus 2 will give me plus 4. 4 1s are 4. So write instead of this one, what write? 4s square minus 2s, again minus 2s plus 1. Over. Now, what to do then? Then I have to find, let me write here. This gives me, if I take the common 2s, can I take the common 2s? Yes, from here I can take the common of 2s minus 1. And from here, minus if 1 if I take out, again 2s minus 1. This gives me a 2s minus 1, which is common to both, again 2s minus 1. If I want to find the 0, each one I have to consider as a 0. 2s minus 1 equals to 0. Again 2s minus 1 equals to 0. This further gives me 2s is equals to 1 with s is equals to 1 by 2. 1 0 I got. Second 0, 2s is equals to 1 and s is equals to 1 by 2. My two zeros are equal. And what are the two zeros? 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So this is my first 0, this is my second 0, and these two zeros are equal I got. So therefore what I can write, the zeros are 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. Now I have to verify. What to verify? Now I have to verify, verification. Because it's asking to check, to verify the relation between the zeros and the coefficient. So what to verify? First one is, this is the first one, sum of zeros. But what is the formula in terms of coefficient? The formula is minus of coefficient of what? X divided by coefficient of x square. Again if you repeat the formula, definitely this will print in a break. Sum of zeros. What are my zeros? My zeros are here. These are my two zeros. So write that the two zeros are 1 by 2 again plus 1 by 2, which is equals to minus sign coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? Sorry, why did I write coefficient x? In fact, here you must be very careful. What is here? Instead of x, he has given the alphabet. What? S. Therefore, I have to change, not x. This is your s. And instead of x square, I have to write this one is coefficient of x square. Now tell me what is the coefficient of s? Minus 4. Okay, minus 4 divided by coefficient of s square, that is again 4. So let me further simplify. What I am getting? 2 as it is, 1 plus 1, and this one becomes minus into minus plus 4 by 4. So this gives me 2 by 2. This gives me 4 by 4. That means 1 is equals to 1. It's verified. 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2, and this one is over. So first part of the question, but the verification is over. Sum of the zeros. In fact, this is over. Now I'll find the product of the zeros. Product of zeros, and the formula is, so what is the formula? Product of zeros, constant term over constant term by what? Constant term by coefficient of x square. Product of the zeros. My two zeros are 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 is equals to constant term. Which is the constant term? Come to the question. This is my constant term. It is 1 over coefficient of, again I have written. What right? This must be s square. What is the coefficient s square? That is 4. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, that gives me 1 by 4, which is equals to 1 by 4, and which is verified. Exactly equal. So remember, whenever you are verifying, these two must be equal. Must be equal. Then only your answer is correct. Your solution is correct. So this is the second one. The second part of the question is this one. So look at it once again. If you have any doubt, you can just comment me on the comment box. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Now let me do the third one. Till then, have a glance. Any doubts, you can pause the video and you can see. If you have any doubts, you can just comment. Now let me do the third one. So let's see the third one. The third one is 6x square minus 3 minus 7x. In fact, the fourth one is not important, but if you need, you can do. Now I am doing the third one. The third question is, he has given 6x square minus 3 minus 7. Now the third one. Okay, let's start the third. The third is this one. 6x square minus 3 minus 7x. One thing you have to keep in mind. This is not in the proper way for arrangement. Order is not proper. First x square, then your x must be there, then constant will be at the last. So while finding the zeros, be careful, check it. Most often the students are making wrong. So the checking point is, you must check the order of the power. First x square, then x, then constant must be at the last. So first I am arranging. So what I am writing? Rearranging. We get, up to rearranging, what do we get? Look at it. 6x square minus 7x minus 3. Without changing the sign of anything. I didn't change the sign of any term. Only the thing is, I am writing in an order. So now check it. 6 3 are multiply coefficient x square and the constant of multiply 6 3 is 18. So let me find. If I find 18, it's a 2 9 are 18. In my first attempt only, I am getting the numbers. Hope you are getting. What is my middle term? My middle term is minus 7. And here what are the numbers I am getting? 2 and 9. From this 2 and 9, can you guess minus 7? Yes, of course. If I write one number is 2 and one number is minus 9, obviously I am getting minus 7. 2 plus minus 9, my answer is minus 7. So instead of this number, this I'll use these two numbers. So what write? 6x square plus 2x minus 9x minus 3. Hope you are getting. Take out the common. Both 2 and 6 comes in 2 table. So let me find 2x. If I take out the common, I am getting 3x plus 1. First, second over. These two again I have to take out the common. So what common I can take? I can take minus 3. Again 3x plus 1. This further if I write, I am getting these two first. As this is the common to both, 3x plus 1, 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. Now we can easily find what are my zeros. Easily we can find. So what are the zeros? 3x plus 1 equals to 0. One more. 2x minus 3 equals to 0. Whereas 3x becomes minus 1 and x is equal to, it gives me minus 1 by 3. My 1 0 I got. Second 0. 2x is equals to minus 3 becomes plus 3. X is equals to 3 over 2. So the two zeros I got easily. Therefore my zeros are, what are my zeros? Zeros are minus 1 by 3 and 3 by 2. I got two zeros. After getting two zeros, what I am going to find? I have to find, not to find, I have to check the relation between the zeros and coefficient. That means I have to check the relation between zeros and coefficient. So let's see. If I start verification, again as usual, what write? Sum of the zeros. Sum of zeros is equals to minus coefficient of x divided by minus of coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. This you must remember. Sum of the zeros. What are my zeros? My zeros are here. Look at here. Minus 1 by 3 and 3 by 2. So minus 1 by 3 plus 3 by 2 is equals to minus coefficient of x. Check it. Where is my coefficient of x? Coefficient of x. After rearranging, we are written is minus 7. So minus 7 divided by coefficient of x square. X square coefficient is 6. So this gives me further, if I do what I am getting, minus 2 also 9 divided by 6 is equals to minus 2 minus 7 by 6. 9 minus 2 is 7 by 6 is equals to 7 by 6. The first part is over. First verification is over. Sum of the zero value and minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. That value is also 0. So it means equal. So both are equal, verified. The second one is in terms of product. I have to find product of zeros. In terms of sum over, in terms of product. Product of the zeros is equals to, I must write the formula first. That is constant term divided by what? I think till now. Divided by coefficient of x square. Product of the zeros. Where are my zeros? These are my zeros, right? Minus 1 by 3 into 3 by 2. This becomes a product of the zeros. Constant term. Check it. Where is the constant term? Minus 3. Minus 3 by coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square is 6. So if I calculate, 3 gets cancelled. 3 1 is 3, 3 2 is 6. Left side I am getting minus 1 by 2, whereas the right side also I am getting minus 1 by 2. This is also verified. Hope you are getting. So these are the exactly similar way I am doing. So this will not be difficult for anyone to understand, because one after other the methods are same methods but repeating. Therefore it will be easy for you to do this one. Next one, it's not important, and if you need you can do it. If you are not getting, you can ask me. Next one I am doing. That is the fourth one. So third one is for you homework. That is not even important also. But if you need, you can try. If you are not getting, you can ask. So now I am doing the fourth one, which is not 3 terms. It's a 2 terms. 3 terms definitely will split. This was till now all the terms there are 3 times. Now just that is your 2 terms problem. The fifth one is t square minus 15. It's very simple. T square minus 15. This t square minus 15, as it has 2 terms, in my video while explaining about this, I told you that if there are 2 terms, definitely that must we can express in the form of a formula. So this becomes, I think I can write like this, because this is not a perfect square. So if it is not a perfect square, we can write root 15 whole square. Like suppose it is 4. 4 means we can write it easily. 4 is the 2 square, because 4 is a perfect square. But this is not a perfect square. If it is not a perfect square, you can write in terms of a root 15 square. If it is given root 5, means if it is given 5, this one also we can write as root 5 whole square. This is the way. If it is given 3, I can write a root 3 whole square. Why? Because these are not perfect square. And especially in this type of questions, you will never get perfect square. Remember, very important, you will never get perfect square. You will always get like this. So now let's continue. While writing in this way, I am getting in the form of a square minus b square. A square minus b square. What is my a? My a is t and my b is root 15. This what is within the brackets, bracket के अंदर जो है, that is your a, and here it is my b. So it becomes the formula of a square minus b square. But a square minus b square formula is nothing but a plus b into a minus b. But what is your a? A is this one, a plus b, a plus b again into a minus b. What is a? A minus b. Simple, very simple. Expressed in the form of a square minus b square. Then write the formula a plus b into a minus b. Now I got the two factors, so immediately I can find the zeros. T plus root 15 is equals to 0. Again, t minus root 15 is equals to 0. Whereas t is equals to plus 15 will be minus 15, minus root 15, and t is equals to plus root 15. Easily I got the zeros. So what are my two zeros? My zeros are minus root 15 and only root 15. So these are the two zeros I got. Minus root 15 and plus. Very simple. Already it's there. Everything formula. Only I have to just repair something here. Only this calculation part I have to erase. That's all. Because I have to anyhow prove the two things. What are those two things? Sum of the zeros and this in terms of coefficient. Sum of zeros and coefficient relations are equal. Now sum of the zeros. What are my two zeros? My two zeros are minus root 15 plus root 15, and this side minus of coefficient of x. But remember here, the question is in terms of t. Last time just like the question is in terms of t. So definitely my formula will be in terms of t only. क्वेश्चन में अगर t के फॉर्म में दिया, देन आपको भी ये जो फॉर्मूला है इसमें भी आपको t के फॉर्मेट में ही लिखना. अंडरस्टूड? ओके. सो नाउ लेट मी चेंज दिस वन because it's I have written in terms of x, but it is given in terms of t. So coefficient of t by coefficient of t square. What I did? Nothing. Here I have written coefficient of x, and here I have written coefficient of x square. So x will be replaced by t, x square will be replaced by t square. Very simple. Now coefficient of t, where is, look at here, be careful. Here no t is there. Is there any t? No. So see, only t square is there. T is not there. That means the coefficient of t I must write 0 over coefficient of t square. T square coefficient is there. What is the number? 1. T square coefficient is 1, but t is not there. So my t value is 0. Minus 15 plus 15 cancel, and this gives me what? 0. Whereas the right side also 0 by anything is equal to 0, and hence this is verified. Verified? Okay. Now the second part, which is in terms of product. In terms of product of the zeros. What are my two zeros? My two zeros are minus root 15 again into root 15 is equals to constant term. The constant term is minus 15 divided by coefficient of, again x square is there. I have to change. Instead of x square I must write t square. T square. Hope you are getting what I have written. That will be only replaced by t and t square. Coefficient of t square, again 1. Now look at it, minus of root 15 into root 15. If you multiply, you get only 15. Why? Root 15 and root 15 square it will cancel, and this will give me only 15 is equals to minus 15 by 150. I think again verified. Minus 15 is equals to minus 15. This is the question number fifth, and the last one is there. Last one is 3x square plus minus x minus 4. 3x square. Last one is 3x square minus x minus 4. 3x square minus x minus 4. Till now I think might have understood properly. Let's do with this. I think these 3 terms are there. Here 3 terms are there. If 3 terms, what to do? Splitting it. Immediately you have to start splitting if there are 3 terms. So if there are 3 terms, immediate splitting is required. So let's start. What I told you, multiply. What to multiply? First and last. First, last you have to multiply. If I multiply, 3 4s are 12. Okay. Now 3 4s are 12. I think I got the number. What is the middle number? Nothing means 1. I think from here I'll get definitely 1. That too minus 1. Minus 1. So how to write these two? How to write these two number so that if I add, my answer will be minus 1. Obviously 1 is 3 and 1 is minus 4. And these two are my required numbers for this splitting number. Means for the number which one I am splitting. So 3x square. Instead of minus 1x, I must write those two. What write? Plus 3x minus 4 over, instead of this one, I wrote these two. Minus 4 as it is. Next, take out the common. 3x, x plus 1. And here I can take out the common, minus 4. Again x plus 1. These two are common. So what write? X plus 1 as it is. Again 2 factors I got. Now I can find the zeros. X plus 1 equals to 0. Second is 3x minus 4 equals to 0. And this gives me x is equals to minus 1. Whereas this is 3x is equals to 4. And x is equals to 4 by 3. So what are my zeros? I got again 2 zeros. What are the 2 zeros? Zeros are minus 1 and 4 by 3. So these two are the 2 zeros. Now I have to verify. Zeros anyhow I got. But these 2 zeros, whether they gave me the correct value while verifying or not, that I have to check. So let's check. Sum of the zeros as it is there already. As I have written already, sum of the 2 zeros are minus 1 and 4 by 3. Sum of the zeros. Let me do the sum. 1 is minus 4, 1 is 4 by 3. Minus 1 plus 4 by 3. Right side. Minus of coefficient of. First one is in terms of x. Again I need to change because t I already had written. So therefore, this t and t square will be replaced. So what I write? Coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Okay. Now minus of, what is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x is minus 1. Minus 1 divided by coefficient of x square 3. So this gives me, this is a minus 3 plus 4 divided by 3 is equals to minus of minus plus 1 by 3. 4 minus 3 is nothing but 1 by 3 and this is also 1 by 3 and hence verified. Similarly, second one I can also verify. What is given? Only product formula I have written. Only I have to change these zeros and even this one also. I don't need t square now. What I need? I need x because my question is in terms of x. So what write? Coefficient of x square. Product of the zeros. These are the 2 zeros. Minus 1 into 4 by 3 is equals to constant term. What is the constant term? Minus 4 divided by coefficient of x square is 3. Minus 1 into 4 by 3, that is 4 by 3 is equals to 4 by 3 and hence verified. This was the last question of means question number 1 last bit. It's over up to here. I think till now you came to know how to find the zeros and how to verify the relation between the zeros and coefficient. Very simple. First step, just multiply, get like this factors, then zeros. After that, these two, as I told you, must remember sum of the zeros you'll find, product of the zeros you'll find. This formula you must remember, this formula you must remember. Then this problem will be very easy for you, right? So in the next video, we'll continue further, and in the last period, we'll discuss some most important questions of board examination along with previous year's questions we'll solve. Till then, have a good day.